Hi, my name is Hector Del Castillo, and I'm Chief Marketing Officer at Byond. And welcome to today's webcast. And today's webcast, we're going to have a 1 hour to deliver the content. Today's topic is 4 ways digital M&A is different. And today's speaker is Lori Wiggins, CEO of Byond. Before we get started, I do want to go over a few housekeeping items. First off, we want to be able to thank Make Offices for allowing us to broadcast from their location in Tysons. Thank you very much. And also for their hospitality in allowing us to be tenants at their location. Also, we want to encourage all those of you who are on Twitter to tweet about us, but also tell you a little bit about Byond. So Byond is a business consulting firm, and we provide actionable intelligence to business executives and owners to help them achieve better outcomes from M&A deals and help them achieve objectives beyond expectations. We also want to encourage you to be on Twitter and share any information that we're going to be discussing today, and use the following hashtag digital M&A, and also use these particular handles, Byond MA and Lori J. Wiggins. These are the handles and hashtags that you can use to share any information with your followers. And we encourage you to share any information that comes out of today's discussion. And then also, we're going to have a Q&A portion at the very end. If you have any questions, please submit those at the end, and you can use the chat window to send your questions, and we will get to those questions during Q&A. And some of those questions, if we don't have time to cover them, then we will also then send you an email with information with responses after today's live session. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce today's speaker. And today's speaker is Lori Wiggins. She is CEO of Byond, a business consulting firm where normally she's busy working with either buyers or sellers who need assistance in structuring either the sale or the acquisition of a company. And that is specifically what we do. And we typically focus and specialize on helping digital companies, meaning technology or software companies, figure out how to navigate their way through the M&A process. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Lori Wiggins, CEO of Byond. Lori, how are you today?
I'm great, Hector, and it's great to be here doing this presentation. Thank you for the introduction.
Great, and so you can get started and then let me know. I will be monitoring the chat window for questions, and then also we'll let you know if we have any questions, and we can always defer additional questions for the Q&A period.
Sounds great. We'll get started.
All right.
In 2018, a third of all U.S. M&A deals have been digital deals. And this is a trend that is increasing through time. Here at Byond, we think about the deal life cycle before, during the transaction, and after the transaction. It is important to understand that digital considerations permeate every phase of the deal. What we'll discuss today is digital strategy, valuation and financing, due diligence, and integration. When we talk about digital companies, I'll say a few words about digital transformation as it is key to successful digital M&A. Why do companies digitally transform? Digital companies grow faster, they build a unique advantage, and they command a higher valuation. How do you do that? You analyze and you act on your customer and company data more quickly and efficiently than your competition. What do you do when you digitally transform? You transform company processes using automation, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. When people think about digital companies, companies like Amazon or Lyft or Uber, Eventbrite come to mind. But digital transformation is occurring across all industries, including in some unlikely places. For example, take Caterpillar. Caterpillar is the heavy machinery giant of the world. However, CEO Doug Oberhelman and his board saw that upstarts and new entrants were going to put them out of business if they did not transform themselves, saying, we better disrupt ourselves in our own way before somebody does an Uber to us. Earlier this year, Caterpillar announced an alliance with Uptake, an entrepreneurial small AI firm. Uptime is key in Caterpillar's industry. You can't have an expensive piece of machinery sitting in a field not working. That doesn't work for their customers. So Uptake is helping Caterpillar network all 3 million engines and machines that they have around the world so that they are constantly reporting to Caterpillar their sensor data, their maintenance status, and other items. And Caterpillar has taken that data and along with historical data that they have, they understand when a machine is going to fail. And so being able to prevent failures increases uptime. Thus, they are developing the system where they're going to beat their competition. Digital strategy. Why do companies go digital? From Accenture strategy research, we see that the most important reason is the need for next generation technology. They also need to acquire digital capabilities, expand into new industries or geographic markets. It's important to note that digital strategy is part of company strategy. It's not some standalone plan. The question always starts with, what is the business goal or objective that my company needs to meet? It's not, wow, I've got this great digital asset, what do I do with it? Business objectives such as enhancing the customer experience, digitizing your value chain or your products or services, or taking the information, the data that you already have in-house and more effectively and quickly analyzing it so that you can get the leg up on your competition. Company strategy is unique to every company, and so their digital strategy must also be so. Let's look at some examples. DBS is an Asian bank, and they aspire to be known as the Asian bank of choice for the new Asia. When CEO Piyush Gupta was interviewed about their digital transformation, he indicated that both he and the board realized that they had to respond to emerging tech companies so that they could stay in business, essentially. They recognized that digital lipstick was not going to cut it, and that they had to reimagine all their processes and digitize end-to-end. Along the way, they also addressed the trend that they saw that consumers were doing more and more banking on their mobile phones. Also, they had to change their culture so that they could encourage entrepreneurship in every company function. Let's talk about Porsche. They have developed a system where they capture all customer data at each customer touch point, And each customer has a unique ID. They gather all this data in a central CRM data center. And what they've been able to do is to maximize their sales campaign success. In other words, they know when somebody wants to buy a Porsche, they target only those people they know want to buy a Porsche in the near future, and thus they have significantly increased their overall sales conversion rate, saving a lot of time and money. Valuation and financing. Traditionally, companies are valued based on the amount of revenue that they bring to the parent company right away. However, many times digital assets are purchased for reasons other than immediate increase of revenue. And for these non-revenue producing digital assets, we need another way of measuring their ROI. For example, going back to our previous statements about why folks acquire digital assets, the need for next-gen technology and need to acquire new digital capabilities, these only indirectly increase your bottom line. So how do you measure expected ROI? Valuation models used for intangible assets are useful here as well. For example, the buy and build and greenfield models take advantage of discounted cash flows with different assumptions in order to understand what your expected ROI in the future could be. The probability weighted expected return takes a range of anticipated ROIs and assigns probabilities to each of them to understand how likely it is you might see an expected return. In any case, if the answer is a greater amount than the company is asking for, this could be a good deal. Let's look at an example. Facebook acquired Instagram in 2012 and WhatsApp in 2014. Facebook paid $1 billion for Instagram. It was a 13-person company and a 2-year-old photo sharing app. Another head scratcher for folks at the time was Facebook paying almost $22 billion for Instagram, a company that in 2013 had lost $138 million. What's up with that? Well, WhatsApp had 500 million users with 1 million more joining every day. And although these companies did not enrich Facebook at the time of closing, you can see within 3 years that Facebook's valuation increased from $144 billion in 2014 to $363 billion in 2017, a 152% increase. Financing. Digital assets are often expensive. They trade at high multiples. So a buyer's stock or cash reserves may not be enough to get the deal done. Earnouts, of course, defer payments and some risk. However, it pays to be open to other arrangements. For example, the minority investment route, that's what Caterpillar did with Uptake, as well as partnerships and alliances. For example, take Facebook's alliance with Deloitte Digital. They are allied, these two companies, to help their customers modernize their customer experience and basically be more agile and innovative enterprises. Essentially, they are working to bring digitization to their clients as well as help improve their clients' customer experience. Due diligence. Traditionally, due diligence has been focused on company financials, legal compliance, management, and operations. However, more and more company activities are online, so we have to be able to evaluate those, as well as online security and industry compliance. What are we talking about here? Digital due diligence includes website performance as well as customer conversion, sales funnel tracking, including all the steps and channels that lead to customer conversion. Search engine rankings. Are you on page 1 or page 10 of search results? Ad campaign statistics, including both paid and display search. Social media presence and the resulting customer engagement. Customer reviews and the results of email marketing. A great example of this is Starbucks. Starbucks is #1 in the world as far as mobile food service today. That's well known. But what isn't so well known is that for 10 years, Starbucks has been purchasing and integrating companies with specific capabilities in order to create this powerhouse. Today, 30% of orders take place on mobile platforms and 9% are placed in advance. So if you see someone walk into a Starbucks, pick up a drink, waiting for them on the counter and leave, that order was placed in advance. And of course, these trends are all only going to increase. If you don't think security isn't important, talk to Verizon. When they were buying Yahoo, during due diligence, it was revealed that Yahoo had suffered 2 serious hacks, 2 serious security breaches. And Verizon initially proposed a 25% reduction in price due to these breaches. However, that was negotiated down to 7%. The final price reduction was $350 million. That's still a lot of money on a deal of $4.48 billion. So we've talked about digital aspects before the deal, that's strategy, financing, and valuation. We've spoken about due diligence, and now we're going to talk about integration. Ideally, when one company integrates another, you're combining the best of both companies' talent and technologies. As far as digital goes, companies usually engage in multiple digital acquisitions as they are combining capabilities. And these capabilities need to be deliberately integrated instead of hoping that they will somehow collaborate. It's really up to the parent company to determine the appropriate level of integration. Traditional companies that are acquiring digital assets do it one of 2 ways. They either integrate all aspects of the company or they keep the acquired assets separate. What does that mean? Well, separate has a number of meanings. Typically, the parent company doesn't want to squash the entrepreneurial spirit that created the value of the company being acquired. Yet, they need the capabilities. Let's take an example. Microsoft's acquisition of LinkedIn. Microsoft paid $26 billion for LinkedIn in 2016. Although Microsoft decided to integrate product offerings, they decided to keep each company's identity unique. Now, while LinkedIn is still an autonomous company, Microsoft exercised its prerogative and brought over Microsoft engineers to see how they could innovate at LinkedIn. So Microsoft kept LinkedIn at arm's length, but the arm wasn't too long. A good example of a company that has used acquisitions and integration to create a world-class company is Walmart. Now, of course, Walmart, everybody knows Walmart, given its stores that are ubiquitous almost in every community. 5 years ago, however, Walmart started Walmart.com and based them in Silicon Valley. That was no accident. Walmart.com started siphoning off talent from other digital companies, and through purchasing and integrating acquisitions over the last 5 years, they are now number 2 in worldwide online sales, behind only Amazon, and of course they have Amazon in their sites. Further, they are leveraging their brick and mortar stores to enable more convenient pickup, which is a key differentiator. Also, they are testing cashless stores. Let's review the key takeaways. If you want to remain relevant as a company, disrupt yourself before your competition does. Digital strategy is a key part of company strategy, but is always a part of it and not standalone. Valuation is different for non-digital assets. Be flexible regarding financing and consider minority investments, alliances, and partnerships. Digital due diligence is key to assessing the deal on top of traditional due diligence. Tailor integration to each asset and be deliberate and thoughtful about it. And lastly, each digital deal is unique. No one size fits all, and proceed accordingly. Now a word about Byond and our services. We work with both buyers and sellers. We assess deal readiness, identify target buyers or sellers. We approach prospects and prepare your deal book. We conduct management meetings and can connect you with appropriate M&A professionals if you don't already have your own team. We prepare LOIs, conduct due diligence, and assess integration. If you would like to discuss further your preparations for getting your company to be deal ready, feel free to set up an appointment with us. We'd love to talk with you. I'm Lori Wiggins, and if you have any comments about this presentation or you would like to get in touch with me, please do contact me at lori@byondma.com or through LinkedIn.
Great. Lori, well, thank you very much for a great discussion, and I want to thank you for your time and also encourage the viewers to get a hold of us using the short URL at in the middle of this particular slide. So if you're looking to either prepare your company to either sell or acquire a digital company, talk to us and we'll let you know how we can help you at least figure out, identify where you need help, and then address any issues that where you might need some help. And Lori and I will always respond within 24 hours for any inquiries regarding any issues or any information that you might need to answer any specific questions about your current business situation. So thank you very much, and we hope to see you again, same time, same channel, and be looking for our announcements for future webinars that we'll be producing in 2019.